Yo, 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 it's your boy iliasAtl Reacts. Yes, sir. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Back with another reaction video. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's not waste no time. So today, I am reacting to these rappers are so disrespectful. This was wrong. Now, it's judging by the outside. Have been on TikTok. TikTok is probably the most popping app right now. We can't even cap. And I did see a few clips. I think I seen some clips of Fivio foreign like blowing weed at him, weed at the streamer Max Platt, whatever the guy name, Max got Plax. But yeah, uh clips. I'm a YouTuber, so I know clips are deceiving sometimes. Mostly, a lot of the times, they're deceiving. So, can't just go off that clip. Let's see if rappers are truly disrespectful. Let's see how are they disrespectful. Without further ado, let's get into this video.
Now I want to talk about this trending story involving a few people. A popular streamer by the name of Plaque Max, rapper Lil
Black Boy Max,
Tjay,
my
and rapper
apologies.
Fivio Foreign. You might have heard about the story because it's trending on social media right now, but
Hold on, guys. The bros is calling really quick. Okay, let's get back to
streamer Plaque Max invited Lil
Let's
Tjay
go
Foreign
back.
and a few people. A popular streamer by the name of Plaque Max, rapper Lil Tjay, and rapper Fivio Foreign. You might have heard about the story because it's trending on social media right now, but
Max
streamer Plaque
is the
Max
name.
invited
My
Lil
bad,
Tjay
my
and
bad.
Fivio Foreign to one of his streams. It was a cook-up session where they were essentially making music while they were on live. Now the meat and potatoes of the story is that Lil Tjay and Fivio Foreign ended up lighting up a J inside the spot. It was an Airbnb that Max had rented out for the purpose of this session. And he initially saw Lil Tjay lighting up while the stream was going on, and he noticed and told him, "Hey bro, you can't do that in here because the smoke alarm will go off."
What'd you say? Stop playing. Who's smoking? Who's smoking? Yo, TJ.
What's up? Who the
Yo, this a B&B. You can't smoke in here. This shit don't go off. Yeah, I appreciate you though.
And then a minute or two goes by.
Oh, I didn't see that clip on TikTok. They ain't pulled that part on TikTok. See, TikTok can get you, man. He literally said, "I can't smoke in the B&B. You can't smoke in the B&B because the smoke detector alarm will go off," and that's true.
And he tells him the same thing because Lil Tjay wasn't listening. It took him a couple of times, like 3 or 4 times, before Max had to bring it up one final time, making it very clear that the show can go on if they don't respect his wishes. And then that's when he one final time kind of walked up to them and he told them, he was like, "Hey, you guys can go to the back if you want to smoke, the backyard."
That baby swag right there on the
Yo,
left.
bro.
I just seen him.
Yo, you can't smoke in here.
He
This shit
are.
don't go off.
He are.
I appreciate you.
Now, a few things happened after that, one of them being that Fivio Foreign decided to blow smoke in his face before he left. That's right. He not only blew smoke in his
That's
face,
what
but
I
they
saw
both
on
ended up
TikTok.
leaving after that. So that sounds pretty clear to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, this is an Airbnb. You can't smoke in here. The alarm is going to go off." And he's like, "All right," until he has to tell him once again. I don't know too much about Plaque Max, but one thing's obvious. This man is very patient, but he's also very firm because, you know, he's standing on his principles, which says a lot about him as a person, but most importantly of all, as a man. But a man can only be so patient, and Max got to his breaking point because he stopped the music and he walks up to them, right? I don't know exactly what he says, but he does tell them that.
Calling. Hey, Lee, say what's up, man.
What up? What up? What up? Yeah, you know we here.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Kenzie, say what's up in the middle of a reaction video.
What it do? Make sure y'all subscribe, man. No cap.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You heard the subscribe button. All right, let's get back to the video, guys.
You can't be in here doing that, and mentions something about there being a backyard, which is relevant because he's telling them you can go, you know, to the back and do that.
Can you show them where, like, in the back, niggas cannot smoke in here? Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. If niggas smoking here, I'm gonna have to shut this bitch down. Like,
Y'all to the back. Backyard. Like there's a backyard.
Let Uncle.
it's in the back. Can you show them?
And then before they leave, like we saw Fivio Foreign, who's about to be 35 in March, mind you, blows clouds right in his face. Now, to be fair, if you looked at the clip, he's responding to someone who's sitting on the left side near Max, and he happens to have a mouth full of clouds and conveniently blows it right in Max's face. Now, a couple important things I want to say in regards to this story. First of all, I'm happy to see that the majority of people have some sense, because, you know, the general consensus seems to be that this was in fact disrespectful. If someone invites you to their space and they have certain rules in place, like, you know, you can't smoke inside the property, you got to respect the boundary, point blank period. Because what kind of situation is this? Well, Plagueboy Max, who streams for a living, is working, so this is his workspace. He invites these two rappers to create some music and some content together, so this is a place of business, right? It's no different from going to a meeting as an artist, and the setting in itself might be different, but anyone who takes what they do seriously, they're not going to look at this and have any type of different feelings about it. Like, it's a workspace. So I'm happy that people are on the right side of things. However, on the other hand, we've seen people like this girl right here, Asian Doll. She posted a response to this on Twitter, and this is what she said: don't invite rappers if they can't smoke. So rappers are obviously...
What? I'm not even... Don't invite rappers if they can't smoke. What? That's somebody's rules, though. Like, how hard is it not to smoke and just be respectful during that? We working anyway. I do get that, you know, stigma for rappers. They smoke a lot. You know, they get high. They need it to function damn near. But there's definitely been places like the awards or photo shoots, or I don't know. It's definitely places where artists and celebrities, or whatever, how you want to put it, aren't allowed to smoke, and they still show up and follow the rules. It's just, I feel like this right here is just people not respecting somebody. But it's good that Playboy Max stood his ground. You know what I'm saying? Utmost respect to him for sure, because it's a lot of people that'll get on the internet, and certain people come around, celebrities or influencers, and they will let them walk all over them. They won't be themselves. They respect for themselves go out the window. So, Playboy Max, that's real.
According to Asian Doll, above following the rules set by the people in charge of the space they're in, rappers shouldn't automatically know basic human decency, like respecting someone else's environment just because they're rappers. There's absolutely no logic in what she's saying. And this actually brings me to a bigger and more important conversation regarding this type of behavior, which of course comes down to class and culture. But before we get into that, let me share something with you that I've heard from countless of people, specifically who work in the music industry. And some people, you know, who've seen the title might already know what I'm going to be talking about. One thing I've heard time and time again, especially this past year, as I myself have kind of been dipping my foot in the water in the music industry, so to speak, but the majority of the people in the industry, right, the music industry, they actually don't like working with rappers. Now, rappers in the music industry are seen as some of the hardest creatives to work with, and this is something I've heard time and time again. I've heard this from engineers, videographers, photographers. I hear this especially from producers. I hear this from managers, A&Rs, and basically anyone who comes in contact with rappers in general. This isn't something that's often discussed publicly, so this might, you know, come as a surprise if you're hearing this for the first time. The truth is, people don't want to ruffle feathers or risk damaging the relationships they've built, and while I won't be naming any names, I've got a wow story to share with you. Stick around until the end of this video to hear it. Now, people in general don't like...
Hey, who know this guy? Blackie Speaks. What's his credibility with the producers and rappers that like what he's saying? Is it true? Should we even, you know?
Working with rappers, because there's a specific type of behavior that comes with working with them. As an example, it's generally agreed that rappers are very bad with being on time in the music industry. Most rappers have zero professionalism, like I'm talking zero. The majority don't really know how to conduct themselves in a business setting, aside from outright ignorance. Just like straight ignorance and zero professionalism. A lot of rappers show up to meetings high off their mind, perked up, leaned out, zanned out, you name it. And to go along with the professionalism aspect, rappers are known for not paying people in the music industry. So as an example, let me share a quick story before we keep talking. One time I heard this story, and I'm not gonna say any names, but there's this engineer who works in the music industry. He mainly works with major label artists, and this engineer one time was working with a rapper, decently sized. Some of y'all actually might have him on your playlist, and they were in the studio. Mind you, this was the first time they're working together, and there was a disagreement about, let's just say, a simple disagreement about the payment process, and one thing led to another, and this poor guy got beat up by this rapper and his entourage. Long story short, he ended up getting, you know, he didn't get paid for his work, and he also ended up getting sent to the ER. Now, that's just one story out of the dozens on top of the dozens of stories that I've heard involving rappers being, honestly, for lack of better words, shitty. And the reason why I bring this up is not to sit here and demonize hip-hop or artists in the culture. I'm not only a voice in the genre, but I'm a rapper and singer myself. I make music, and all I'm saying is we have a cultural and class issue in hip-hop, which has painted rappers in an extremely bad light. People see us as difficult to work with. I mean, when the most important person, the engineer, doesn't get paid and gets sent to the ER, it's an issue, right? When people have this perspective of rappers that they have, zero professionalism and whatnot, and that they don't know how to be on time, and that they like bring 1,000 niggas to the studio who are all hotheads and they're all on perk 30s and leaned out and can't respect boundaries, and they're known as the musicians who don't pay people, it's a very big problem. So this story right here just validates all those negative aspects of rappers, rap culture, and hip-hop in general. Rappers in the music industry are known for having a holier than thou energy as well, and they have that towards anyone they're working with. This is one of the unspoken reasons why rappers who quote-unquote fall off have a very hard time getting that momentum again. Did you guys know that a big part of that isn't actually the quality of the music only? Shocker. It's actually the person behind the music. Because have you guys noticed how there's a type of rapper who they might not have that much momentum and they might be all that relevant to the public anymore, but those are the rappers who more often than not end up bouncing back quicker. Now, ask yourself, why is that? Well, because that other guy actually has morals, values, principles, and he's made an effort to nurture his relationships and treat people with respect. So when he needs some help because his career is colder than Iceland, all he needs to do is
Hey, he's saying some real stuff in life. Let's go back on that. Let's go back because I want to add. He started going somewhere else. I didn't think he was gonna go.
shocker. It's actually the person behind the music. Because have you guys noticed how there's a type of rapper who they might not have that much momentum and they might be all that relevant to the public anymore, but those are the rappers who more often than not end up bouncing back quicker. Now,
He's saying there's always some rappers that might not be as relevant to the public, but because they nurture their relationships and they move with principles and morals. This is in every industry, any endeavor, any business. Because you move with character and morals and principles, mind you, in this life, all we have is our character and our word. But that nurtures your relationships. People know you're genuine, you're telling the truth, you have integrity. All the things that you would want in a quality friend or business partner. You know what I mean? That's facts. But yeah, nurture your relationships. I can go so far and so deep with that, but that's my entire life. All you have is life keep going on and on is your character and your word. All people have of you is memories and how you treated them. So remember that. Remember that. It don't matter where you at. Because people go up and down, up and down, up and down all life.
ask yourself, why is that? Well, because that other guy actually has morals, values, principles, and he's made an effort to nurture his relationships and treat people
Right.
with respect. So when he
Right.
needs some help because his career is colder than Iceland, all he needs to do is make a few phone calls. Next thing you know, he has a record with one of the hottest rappers in that period. Now, how does that happen? Well, that happens because people like you. You're actually a solid, cool, good person. So when you need your back scratched because you're a cool cat, people will come through. Get it?
Yep.
Cool cat, back scratched. There are countless of rappers
Let
who
me pause it. I can think of an artist right now that does that. And I think the world knows that. Dang, I don't want to say that artist's name. I don't know, because if I say his name, people might have another side of him that I didn't know. But I'm going to still say it just in case I'm wrong. You can still comment down below. But on the outside looking in, I think the baby is like that. Remember they tried to cancel him for the things that he said? I think they did cancel him. Well, I don't think they canceled him because he came back. But if you follow him on Instagram, and I've been following the baby for a minute, you know what I'm saying, since I was in high school, before him in Stunnerful Vegas, for real, for real. But his music has always been good, and he rap about the things that I like, even back then. But when he got canceled, I think that's when all of his real friends came, like real people. Because when you down, that's when you find a real friend, and when you up, that's when you find a capper, a faker, a front. But he got relationships like 50 Cent and Boosie that come through for him. And Moneybagg. There's so many different rappers that come through for him. And I've been following him for a minute, and I think he has morals and principles. And you don't mess people over. When you don't mess people over, they gonna come back. every time.
quote unquote falling off, not because of the
Come
quality
through.
of their music, but due to their lack of character. And it's no surprise that engineers and producers don't want to work with you. I mean, there's so many rappers who act like they're above the people who literally make the beats and polish your vocals to make you sound good for the world. And at the end of the day, music is a team effort, yet you're out here acting like it's a one-man show, which that's just not the case. So this type of story casts a negative light on rappers as a whole. And like I mentioned earlier, this ultimately comes down to an issue of class. And when it comes to these particular rappers, by the way, Lil Tjay and Fivio Foreign, they don't really have that much momentum anymore. Lil Tjay, as an example, is an independent artist, so for him, this kind of thing hurts him more than he could ever realize. When you're not on a major label like him, your relationships especially matter in a situation like this, because that's the only thing you can draw from. At least when you're assigned to a major label, you have access to an entire network of people through your partner, which is the label. But when you don't, it's relationships like these that are going to help you bounce back and stay in the spotlight. I really respect Plagueboy for standing on business and keeping it P. And by the way, he ended up responding to this entire thing afterwards by saying this:
If you don't respect what I do, I don't want to work with you. So here's what it is. It's never gonna get done. Every artist I've ever invited on stream, all them niggas have respected me, I respect them, and we have fun and it's good vibes every time. This is the first time some shit ever happened like this.
Just like a man is supposed to, he stood on his principles, and for that, he got my respect. So shout out to Plagueboy. I also know that he's doing really good on the music front as well, and he has a little bit of momentum. So shout out to another young black man winning, man. Shout out to Plagueboy. Anyway, if you made it this far, drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And to all the new people out there, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the family. Obviously, we got more room, so yeah. What do you guys think about this topic regarding rappers being disrespectful? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about some of the industry related things I spoke about, and of course the topic in general. You let me know in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.
Yeah, so that's the video. He's basically saying, what do you guys feel about this topic on rappers disrespecting streamers and YouTubers? Well, it don't even, it's just saying rappers being disrespectful in general. I don't say streamers or YouTubers, I just added that in. But how I feel about it, like he said, is it's a stigma out there. You know, rappers are a certain way. They usually drugged up, and you know, some of them don't have the most class and big head sometimes. But the world is changing. The world is changing very fast, and you might need a lot of these influencers and content creators and streamers, or might not even be them, but just people, PRs and people who publish articles. You're gonna need those people more than they need you. And that's a fact because they keep you relevant. They keep they talking about you. They keep you in a good light. You know what I mean? They could be trending. They have you on. Boom, you go up, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, not even just for rappers. I don't think anybody should just be disrespectful to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I said before in this video, all you have in this life is your character and your word. When you go away, when it's some years passed down the line and you at this big age, 50 or whatever it may be, when those people that been in your life and your history, they lay their head down their pillow, your name, your face comes up in their head, and this is a real person because they can think about all the times that you had their back or had morals and principles and never shitted on them and never treated them like a certain way, and that carries you through life. Love in abundance and just being there and being a helpful person can get you so far in life. Only when it's applied in the right areas. Let me make sure I tell you guys that because it is some areas where it won't be mutual and you got to figure that out. But this is the game of life. So, yeah, that's your boy iliasAtl Reacts, reacting to another video. I'll see you guys in the next video. We out.